Welcome. This is Farm Drive, and my name is Gyoshe Mbogwa. This is the 25th of August, and it's a Friday. We are focusing on getting to the weekend, and I hope you have had a blissful weekend full of God's favor, and you have been fruitful. This is Farm Drive, and remember to follow us on any of our social media handles at Farmers Media, X, that is Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Post any comment over there and ask any question, and we'll be there to attend to any of your need. And as usual, when we're speaking about Farm Drive, we always say Farm Drive, our main focus is running our farming, running our agribusiness as an enterprise, which we are focusing on maximizing our profits and minimizing our losses. We also focus on, averting any risk that might be there in our farming, even in the market. And for this week, we've been looking at the whole supply chain as far as agribusiness is concerned. And we say supply chain simply means is from the farmer, you are planting, you have harvested, you have gone to the manufacturer, from the manufacturer, you've gone to the distributors, from the distributors, you have sold your produce. So we are looking at this whole chain. After the produce, you buy inputs and come back to the farm and have that cycle once again. So we are focusing on reducing every amount of risk, any loss that might be incurred as we maximize on our profits. And I hope you're ready as we move on to our discussion today. And I know we are going to learn much even as we focus on getting to the weekend. Okay? So today we are looking at agribusiness networking. So networking is one of the most important things, one of the most important elements to any individual who is in business or who is in any profit-making endeavor. Okay. So when we are looking at networking in terms of agribusiness, we are looking at this individual who is practicing farming, who is rearing cattle, who is doing poultry farming. You're doing crop farming of any kind. So we are looking at you and the networks you require in terms of engaging and knowing people, knowing people in the same sector, knowing your fellow peers, and you're getting the information that you require. That simply means you're able to access any credit facility, you're able to access any information, you're able to access any research facility. So we are looking at networking and how do you go about networking, who do you network with, what are the steps you probably need to networking, and why do you need networking from the first place. So most of the times you find people are mesmerized by the functions that take place. You see, when the government has a function concerning climate, concerning trade, concerning industries, concerning agriculture, you'll still find people going to some of these functions. Okay, so the main aim of this function is all about networking. It's all about getting to know someone you probably didn't know, getting that information you never knew. And sometimes networking might not work for us in the present. At times networking works for us even in the future. So you meet someone, you just have their contacts, you exchange their contacts, but in the future, they come to be of help to you. So we are looking at partnerships that are so essential. In other words, we will say that networking is a better form of partnership. So we are looking at where as an agribusiness individual, you will partner with different people. So some of the most important things as an agribusiness person, why you need to have partnership, connect with people, get to some of these events and know people, is because we are always looking for new markets. Everyone is in search of a new market. Everyone is in search to gain entry in a new market, because a new market simply means you are able to sell whatever was in excess. You're able to get new market. That simply means you're able to have a base in terms of your supply. Okay, that simply means you can get to many people, you can get to many markets, and you're increasing your profits. Why you also need networking is because you need to share knowledge and skills. So I remember back in high school, we used to go for the mathematics contest and the rest. And probably that is where connecting and partnerships began, and the whole issue about networking began there. In campus, you still find in every level of life as you go, you connect with new people, you network with new people. So that is the same criteria that we want to continue with, where you are getting new knowledge, you're getting new information. That simply means you are up to date as far as your crop or your farm is concerned. So we are looking at where as a farmer, where as an individual, where as an agribusiness enterprise, you are able to have knowledge, okay? And the best thing about networking is that you will get and gain knowledge that you probably won't pay for. You will just access it free, because these are friends, these are your buddies, these are your partners that are coming on board. So you're getting individuals who are coming on board with information. When you have this information, you definitely have an opportunity to reduce the loss and the risks that might appear in the future. So we are looking at a place where you're able to avert any form of risk that comes your way. And lastly, you're able to create value of your customers. You're able to create value of your goods. So if you have new markets, if you have that information, then you improve on the quality of what you produce, and that's a very important thing that we should look at. So it is also important to understand that it is not just making the partnerships and networking, we also need to maintain them. And we are looking at the potential partners, the potential networks that we are looking at. And at times we need to have a clear idea of what we want. As a farmer, I need to know where do I see myself in the next 10 years? Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? That will really help me to know the kind of individuals, the kind of farms, the kind of networkings and partnerships I need to enter into. It is very, very important. So we need to think about our vision, we need to think about our mission, we need to think about our strengths, our weaknesses, the opportunities that as an enterprise we have, and we need to look at the threats. That is SWOT analysis that you need to always look out to. Because you will understand, you probably need to invest in more networks where your enterprise is probably having a weakness in. So if, as an enterprise, my greatest weakness is in marketing, that simply means I need to come and network with people or organizations or other enterprises that have access to this market. I need to venture into networks that will give me access to government institutions, organizations, public-private partnerships, or any private company or any individual who will give me the information I need in order to access some of these markets. And most of the times, it doesn't require much for us to network, because we are looking at networking even as you network in your own sphere of life. At times we network through our social media handles. You get to know people through your Facebook account, you get to know people through your TikTok account, you get to know people through any of your social media accounts. Again, some of these social media accounts will also help us to know new information about new potential partners and potential networks that we need in our agribusinesses. So you get into many of these organizations, including Farmers Media. We have social media handles where you can get information, where you can get the knowledge you need, where you can partner and get the training you need. So most of these social media handles will give us an access to many of these partnerships. We have databases from the government, we have directories. Directories are records or books that have names of companies or individuals with their contacts and their phone number and any information you need about an individual or an enterprise. You can also network, and especially this is more common in an African setup where you connect through events. Most of the times we connect through events, even in our social social life, we connect in social gatherings, that is in weddings, in funerals, in parties. That is where you get to have new friends. So this is the same way you can also connect. Anytime there are new or the events that are called up by the government or by agricultural related businesses and enterprises, that is one of the best opportunity to actually network. So anytime you're hearing there is an agricultural showground, you need to come up, you need to go out, network with people, get to know the new seeds that have been certified, get the information about the export facilities, get the information about how to control pests and diseases, get the information about a new breed of what you're rearing that is in the market. So that is one of the way you are able to network, and it works better, it works nice. And I think there is one that is coming up, as you said, the Nairobi SK is coming up. You can make a point to go over there and network with some of these people. We also have referrals. So if you're already networked, you can ask the present people in your life, in your enterprise, in your business. They can give you more networks. They can give you more referrals on anything that you need, and many other ways you can connect. But these are some of the main ways that you can connect. It is also important to know that you don't connect with anyone anyway, but you need to do some background check on some of these organizations and some of these individuals that you need to connect with. There are so many areas that, and there are so many sectors that we can connect with. But what are some of the benefits of networking? And we can draw them from our social life in terms of there is information exchange, as we have said. And the best thing about networking is that it's free information. The best thing, and when you look at people who are in the same sector or the same course, or you graduated from the same area, you keep asking each other questions on any changes in the regulation. Okay, you don't need to go for training. You only make a call to your buddy, and you're like, so what do I do about this and that? Even in our own setup, in our own villages, and what we do currently is that we connect easily with our neighbors in terms of a disease, a pest, a way, how do I farm, how do I do this? That is one of the greatest advantages about networking. So if you network with a farmer who is beyond your borders, that simply means you can access new crops, you have access to new markets, you have access to knowledge of how you can do your farming. You can connect with manufacturers, new manufacturers. You can connect with new customers. You can connect with new distribution channels, and this is one of the most important things. So when there are events, when you are scrolling down your social media handles and you come across a peculiar person probably who is taking on agriculture, it's important just DM them, get some information, connect with them, bond with them, and get some of this information, which is actually free. Most of the times it's free information. It's not something you pay for. One other thing that why you need to connect and network and have partnership is because the whole issue of collaboration, it is one of the most important aspects as far as agribusiness is concerned. When you have partners you can work with, partners who you can come together, they can help you in something, you can help them in something different. You are producing maize, you probably have a distribution channel, they probably have a way to manufacture it, to maybe they are millers, you can get new customers. So you are having collaboration with these different players in the agricultural sector. So you can have suppliers, you can become a supplier, you can carry research together, and you can have improvements in the whole sector of value chain. That simply means you get to know new information about certified crops and seeds, a new fertilizer, new information you never had. You get new ways to get new manufacturers, you get new ways to get new distribution channels. That is how you get having people you can collaborate with. The other one is the whole aspect of business opportunity, and I think this is one of the most important aspects of networking. When you network and you have new players in the market, new business parties, it simply means you are exposed to new business opportunity that you never had before. Now, this simply means if you connect with the right people, You can have partnerships, you can have joint ventures, in that we are producing tea. We have partners who refine it to an end product. We have someone else who is more into distribution. Then we have someone else who is into market. That simply means we have created a whole lot of a full chain. I'll produce, and someone else takes it to the manufacturer, or the manufacturer. Then from the manufacturer, we have someone to distribute, or anyone can play any of the sectors. That simply means we are not losing to the middlemen. Okay, and there has been also an argument and the whole talk of middlemen. They are the ones who cause actually that middlemen are these individuals who come into the sector and they actually take a toll on farmers. So most farmers have been on the run to reduce the whole concept of middlemen. So when you network, that simply means you can get to know a miller direct. Okay, so you are able to take your produce to the miller very fast, and you can bring in new farmers who are doing the same farming you're doing. If it's the whole issue about poultry farming, you are able to get new ways and new markets where you can sell your eggs. So we are looking at a whole lot of networking, where you can network with even organizations that produce food for your animals. So it's very easy for you to know any information that pertains to anything that pertains to your animal or to what you're rearing. And you actually know, you get quick response in case of any risk. You get quick response in case of any pests, and this is one of the most important things. We also have access to resources. In most of these organizations, you find there are financial institutions that come on board, and they are ready to engage farmers. They are ready to engage key stakeholders in that market in helping them get access to some of these facilities. Most of the times you get contracts if you have networked with some of these organizations that require this produce once and time and again. That simply means you can access any financial institution that will help you. Especially if you're thinking of having a startup. Either it's a whole startup, you're beginning from scratch, or you are having a startup in terms of a different sector in the full chain of agribusiness. So you've been farming, but you're thinking of starting distribution, you're thinking of starting production. Then you can use this great deal of networking in terms of engaging your startup and agri-tech technology and the rest. The whole issue of skill enhancement, that simply means the access to training facilities. Anytime some of these government institutions, some of these public organizations that deal with farming and non-governmental organizations, CBOs, they are having trainings. That simply means you are up to date on any training that is about to take place. Okay, that simply means you are already up to date with any agricultural information, any agribusiness information that you will think of. You are ready for. So when you're looking about the issue of skill enhancement, it is one of the reasons why I think we need to continue attending some of these events. And at times, there are farmers who have gone ahead of us. They are key players in the sector who have gone ahead of us. They have specialized in any of the supply chains. And it works in handy for a farmer who desires to engage in any startup. I also guess that one of the most important things about networking is being informed on any regulations. Oftentimes regulations change. Oftentimes regulations change in terms of taxation, in terms of certification, in terms of international standards and requirements for certain produce. They continue changing. So if you're able to network, that simply means you have a farmer, you have an individual who is also your peer in terms of agribusiness. That simply means you can exchange ideas, you can have information of what's going on. And one of the key things that is also very, very rampant in our social life is the whole issue of Telegram and WhatsApp groups, where farmers and business people, you are in a church, you are in a community, you have the same WhatsApp group, you exchange information in case of anything, you exchange. You go to Facebook today, you will find that there are many, many career groups that have been formed in Facebook. You go to Facebook, you'll find accounting groups and pages. You'll find engineers. You will find those who are in agriculture. You will find different people engaging in different groups and pages in Facebook. That can also be the same because we already have a farmers club in Facebook. You can join a farmers club and get some information, get updated on any information that you would think of. So we can use our social media handles to come together as key players in the agribusiness sector and exchange information, and we are educated at the end of the day. I mean, that's the main reason why we want to engage in some of this. When you're looking at online platforms, they play a major role into networking and having partnerships. When in this partnership, we build trust. It simply means we can engage in an endeavor together. That's the most important thing. Then how do you even network? It's not, knowledge to the moon and back. We've been networking in our normal lives. We have been networking since we were kids. You get to new environments, you find friends. After you're through with that age and that season of life, ushatoka, ushapata mabeshtu wengine, it is still moving on with life. That is the same thing, even as people who are farming in the marketplace, we are looking at manufacturers. We need to continue connecting and networking in our own career paths. As we said, we need to determine what are our objectives. You look at your farm and you're probably thinking, by the next several years, I want to start an incubation facility. I want to breed my own chicks. I want to, begin a processing company for potatoes. I want to begin. So you know the goals you have in life. Then that, I think, is one of the most way to start where and know where you want to network and have partnership. It works as a guiding tool for you. It works as a map for you, because you definitely know you want to go to a farmer who has a brooding farm or a brooding machine. You want to go to a farmer who is into poultry farming. Okay, you want to go to a farmer who is has installed biogas. So you need to think of, what do I want to do with this farm? What do I want to do in terms of the whole chain of agribusiness? Again, we say we need to go to these events. Do not take it for granted when it comes to any events that pertains to agriculture. They come in handy and they really help in terms of accessing information and accessing some of these people. We have again also say that you need to join an online community. Some of these online communities, they really help you with free information. They really help you with information at the tap of your your phone. You get information. So some of these online platforms, they really help. Currently we have the Google Meet, we have Zoom, we have Twitter Space. All of these will really help us. We have YouTube channels where you can see farmers and their testimonials. We have websites for some of these companies. So when you're looking at any online community, is one of the most important things. We also need to visit each other. We need to connect with farmers who have gone before us, who are making strides in farming. It's one of the most important things. There is also a growth in one of these social media handles called LinkedIn, and it's really working in terms of connecting people. We also need to do our own research as we identify with producers, and I think because we will also be looking how you connect and network with producers, network with buyers, network with also customers. It's one of the most important things. We also need to look at success stories. They are farmers who already have success stories. They can really help us to know who did they partner with, who came in the time of need, who came, who gave them the seeds and was there for them. So it's one of the most important steps that you need to take up. We also have accreditation facilities or associations. So we have associations in your local area for farmers. If it's poultry, we have association for them. If it's maize, it exists. If it's potatoes, you look for some of these association organizations and farms. They will really help us in getting the information we need. And I think when it comes to agribusiness, and most importantly farming, at the first step of farming, what is required before you even put that seed to the soil is the whole issue of knowledge. It's a whole issue of research. Okay, because if you have the right knowledge in terms of what seed you need to plant, what fertilizer you need to do, the information about the weather, it comes so much in handy in terms of preparing yourself as a farmer in the planting season. When you're getting into the market, you also need information. You need information to know which is this market I need to engage in, which is this partner I need to meet with. Do I need to add anything in terms of my product in order to extend its shelf life? It's one of the most important things when it comes to information. Information is key, especially when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to agribusiness. So we're also looking at growing our expertise. When we grow our expertise, we expand our territories. Okay, we expand our territories in terms of market, in terms of networks, in terms of partnerships. It becomes so much in support for us, and it is advantageous for this farmer who is engaging in some of this. So we also have the whole issue of follow-up. You realize that government entities and NGOs and some of these programs that deal with agriculture, they do a lot of follow-up. When we are looking at a farmers media, when we are looking at this organization, we visit your farm, we have your testimony and testimonials of what you're doing. We look at what can you improve. We look at giving you the necessary expertise that you need. Okay, so if you have any testimonials of what you're doing, get into any of our social media handles and give us a call, DM us. We are going to probably cover your farm and what you're doing, and we're able to help you network with other farmers who are in the same industry that you are in. Now, we need to ask ourselves, we have known the importance of networking, importance of partnerships. Why do I need to partner? Why do I need to connect? Why do I need to have these partnerships with producers? It simply means, as a farmer, I have done my due diligence. I have planted, I have weeded, I have harvested, and now I'm thinking about the market. Okay, if it's a product that requires, adding value. If you're a coffee or a tea farmer and you need to add value to this product, we need to come back and ask ourselves, why do we need to connect? Why do we need to partner with producers? Why partner with producers? Because we have said, in some of these events, in your social media handles, even in your normal life, as you walk and get to the market, you still connect with individuals who play a game changer in what you're doing. Okay, they help you to take your farming, to take your distribution channel, not just as a distribution channel, not just as a farm, but as an enterprise. Why do you need to connect with manufacturers, or what we are calling producers? Because you realize that these manufacturers play a very important role in the whole of the supply chain in agribusiness. There is a produce that are perishable, and I think this week we've been looking at some of these produce that is perishable. We are asking ourselves, we need a manufacturer, we need a producer who is adding value to this produce so that it doesn't spoil easily, and we are able to add the shelf life of this produce. So why do we need to connect with them? Why do we need to have a relationship with them? Why do they need to be in the whole agricultural setup? Okay, why do you need to know them? Most of the times you find when it comes to agriculture, we just want to produce, after producing, sell, and then you go back to the farm. That has been the whole cycle of an African farmer. But now we are looking at it in terms of, you have planted, you still have connections with the manufacturer, you still have connections with the distribution channel, you still have connections with the market. That simply means you have first-hand information from the changes in the consumer preference. And I think that is one thing that will really help us in changing the whole of the agribusiness sector. So when we are looking at manufacturers, we are looking at value addition. Value addition. We have a produce that probably before we never thought it would be, you will add value to it and change it in its form, and it can be used in the future. There is what we call canned pineapples. We have powder milk. We are looking at a relationship with the manufacturer, in that the manufacturer is able to absorb almost all the produce in the market. So we will never have excess milk. If the excess milk can be sold in its own form, that simply means it's packed as milk, then whatever is in surplus, then it is changed to powder milk. Okay, so we are looking at a manufacturer, a networking avenue, or a partnership where we can connect with the manufacturer to add value to our produce. Okay, so we are looking at a manufacturer who is looking at a mango, not just as a mango, but as juice. Okay, so it's very important for us to connect with these manufacturers and have a connection with them, so that we will know the standards that are required for those mangoes, the standard that is required for that milk, because you realize that much education about dairy farming comes from the manufacturers. They're the ones who come and educate you and help you to understand that we need milk in this form, we need milk at this standard. So when you're looking at a partnership with manufacturers, it really helps the farmer in terms of upgrading their skills. Very important as we add value and what we call value addition to that. We're also looking about processing and packaging. Okay, when you look at again milk from a cow, it's just milk. You just measure in your local way and you get the money. But when you think of a manufacturer, you're looking at milk that is processed, packaged, and branded. Okay, and it is sold in a far market. So we are looking at a manufacturer who is able to, take the milk, take the produce, package it, process it, and get into the market in a whole different way. Okay, so we are looking at new markets, we are looking at new consumers, we are looking at adding value. We are looking at profits increase, because it's all adding value to whatever we had from the beginning. We're also looking at diversification of products, because a whole range of these manufacturers require our produce as raw materials. Now, when we talk about manufacturers, we are talking about access to a whole lot of consumers who will come with their preferences. And when it comes with their preferences, it simply means we are able to diversify our agricultural sector. we are able to get into new areas. If we were just doing dairy farming, we're able to get into maize farming, because at the end you are able to produce fodder and food for the cow. You're also able to produce maize for your own consumption, and probably getting more food from the maize itself for the cow. So when we come to diversification of produce, it's a whole lot of a new thing that manufacturers come with it into the market. Another reason why you need to connect with these manufacturers and producers is because of quality control. We said they are the great regulators of what gets into the market, so they will really help you to understand what is required, what should be added on your produce. A whole lot that comes with the manufacturers is innovation and technology. When you look at any supply chain in agribusiness, in any produce, technology begins from the manufacturer, and it drips down to the farmer until the farmer is equipped with a modern technology. The impact of this, any partnership with any producer and manufacturer, is that you have access to huge markets. There is an increase in the farm income, and there is a whole lot of collaboration in terms of supply chain. It simply means, as a farmer, you don't need to get access to the market, and that you already have a finished product that has been added value, and you can get into the market with this produce, with this product, and it acts as a reason why your pocket and your economical status of your pocket will change. So when we collaborate in terms of our supply chain, it simply means you can go to the market together with a finished produce that has added value. We are looking at job creation. When we connect with these manufacturers and these producers, we are looking at job creation. Now, I want you to look at this at it in this sense. So you are in an interior area that you produce tomatoes or potatoes, or you're producing maize or wheat, and you want to engage in collaboration, in a partnership with a manufacturer. So one of the fruits of you engaging with this producer is that you will have access to new industries in your local area. That simply means, if it's you're farming potatoes, that simply means you have access to a new industry around your area. That simply means you have access to this industry anytime with no stress. So we are looking at you getting into this partnership with this farmer, with this manufacturer, who sets up a new industry, creates jobs, helps you complete the whole circuit of supply chain, helps you add the shelf life and add value. Is very important. Innovation and research, that one cannot be discussed and be objected. It's a whole issue. We have market stability. But I think you'll agree with me that one of the reasons why farmers get unexpected losses is because the market is so unstable. So today you have flooding of this commodity. After 1 month, it's in scarce. Okay, so this instability and shaky markets really affect farmers and their profits. So when we're looking at market stability, it simply means we can produce milk that has a shelf life of 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. Okay, so that simply means we still have milk in the market for the next 1 month. If that was not the case, is that milk produced today must be sold today. Any milk that comes in excess is a waste. But when you're looking at a partnership with manufacturers, having that coolant, having that milk plant, that milk factory around your area, or having access to such, it simply means we have market stability. I think it's this week on Wednesday we were talking about exports. When you consider bringing in the manufacturer in the equation, you are bringing the whole equation of exports. It simply means you can access exports so easily, especially with finished products. That simply means we are reducing the waste. We don't produce for waste. We are producing for the market. It simply means we are able to access the market. And there's a whole issue of food security. And this one works so much in handy in terms of getting what we wanted into the market. Now, why do we need to network with, we've done with some of this one with producers and the rest. It's very important. Why do we need to network with investors? Okay. Why do we need to network with investors? We're going to take a short break. We'll be back after this, and we are asking ourselves, why do I need to network with investors? Because most of the times we are looking at the market, and as farmers, we want to connect with other farmers. We want to connect with consumers, but most of the times we are not looking at the whole issue of the supply chain. So we'll be back after this, and we are discussing and asking ourselves, why do we need to connect with investors and customers? See you after this. Welcome back. This is Farm Drive, and I hope you're getting to learn one or two points in terms of networking and why you need to network. Just as a reminder, we are looking at the whole issue of agribusiness and agriculture. We want to run it as an enterprise. That simply means we want to maximize our profits to the highest level. We want to minimize our losses. We want to change the economic status of our pockets, so that we are able to add an extra piece of land, we're able to get the new technology, and that is one of the main goals of why everyone gets into any business or into farming. So if you want to add your produce, get good quality of your produce, and you're thinking of a fertilizer, we have this awesome fertilizer. This is NASCO Organic Liquid Fertilizer. This is one of the best that will come in handy in terms of adding value and quality to your farm. We're not just talking about adding produce. We're talking taking care of your soil pH levels. Most of the times we ignore this, but when you have NASCO Organic Liquid Fertilizer, it simply means you are taking care of the acidity level, the pH level of your farm. We are looking at a fertilizer that works with any kind of crop, be it the fruits, be it flowering, any kind of produce. It works well with it. So we are looking at, as a farmer, getting a fertilizer that is 100% organic, no chemical additives. It simply means it also doesn't harm your health. It works well with your soil, it works well with your crops, and it works well with you. If you're thinking of fertilizer, then you need to think about NASCO organic liquid fertilizer. Just remember, this is liquid. It is liquid and it is easy for you to use, and it really helps you in terms of adding your produce and getting your quality. So you're looking at something that is 100% organic. We are moving from chemicals and all this stuff. We want to get to organic. So that simply means you need an organic fertilizer to help your farm, to help your produce in adding more value and more quality to you. So if you're thinking of fertilizer, then you need to think about NASCO organic fertilizer. Now, we are asking ourselves, so as a farmer, why do you need to get and connect and partner with investors? Why? Why do we need to think about investors in the whole supply chain of the farmers? And we must say, as in Africa, in the developing countries, one of the limiting factors in terms of agriculture is technology. Technology is one of the limiting factors because of the nature of technology itself, in terms of skills, in terms of cost. So, and many times we are not able to get the adequate technology. I was talking to someone and he was telling me most of the times he goes through social media and he looks at what the Western countries are doing in terms of technology and especially in farming. They have massive machinery. Big machineries that isn't work, that really reduces the whole lot about losses, the whole lot about wastage. Okay, so when it comes to technology, as a country and probably as a farmer, you might be limited. So this is why we need investors to come in terms of technology, that is infrastructure, and we're talking about climate change. Okay, we are all on the run in terms of getting sustainable development in Africa. That simply means we're getting sustainable development in Africa in terms of food and even in our technology. So when we're looking at investors, we're looking at investors who are coming on board to help us, okay, get the appropriate technology. That simply means we are able to detect these diseases, these pests, as early as now. We are not waiting for an impending danger. That simply means we're able to grade our produce, we're able to harvest our produce, we're able to get certified produce. When we think about investors, it simply means they have knowledge and information we don't have. They have research facilities that we don't have. So we are thinking about investors who are ready to come into our rural areas, set up companies, set up training centers, set up innovation hubs. This will play so much in handy in terms of agribusiness. Okay, so we are talking about technology is one of the most important things. So we'll have processing centers, we'll have storage facilities, we'll have transport networks. It's very important. At times, we even need to invest, we need to network with some of these organizations that might not be connected to agriculture directly, but they will come and build roads, they will come and build schools, they will come and build companies, and that one will help us. So we'll be able to adopt the right technology for our produce in terms of farming, data analysis, agri-tech solutions, and that way we are boosting productivity. Okay, that way we are boosting productivity. One of the main reason, one of the main reason why you need to get connecting with investors and partnership with some of these investors is mainly because of what you say, technology and finance. Getting access to finance facilities is a whole lot that opens up the life of a farm. That simply means you're able to get funds to get that produce, to get that extra fertilizer, to get that extra technology, and to raise your level of agriculture. So we are looking at microfinance. We are looking at institutions and banks. We are looking at these organizations that support startups. So when we are looking at them, we are looking at a farmer who is being empowered by these investor facilities that comes on board. So in the recent years, we are seeing some of these organizations that are being funded. Some of them are funding. So we are seeing some activities in the rural areas. They are setting up small centers, small hubs, where you are able to get information, where you're able to get certified seeds. So that is what we're looking at in terms of investors and partnering with them. We are looking at an increase in the whole supply chain. The distribution channels will open. We are looking at capacity building. As a farmer, you're able to have sustainable practices. The training that is needed is one of the most important things. You also have sustainable agricultural produce because because most of the times you realize as a farmer or as an agribusiness individual, what limits us is funding to do what is required and what is the standard. So when you have the investors' presence, it simply means you have access to technology and finances to continue with what you have been doing. We are looking at investors who come in terms of climate change, helping and advising us and giving us information of the changes in terms of climate. Much of this is done by investors who are coming not because they need any profit, but they are coming because they want to impact and change something in the industry. Most of these organizations are there for startups. So if you're starting something about agriculture, one of the most important things you need to think about investors. There is no shortcut for that. You need to think about investors. We need to think about public-private partnership. This is something that came up in terms of public finance and the whole issue of the new constitution, the new acts. So there are collaborations between the government and private individuals who are coming to develop the rural areas as they bring resources and expertise to address the different issues that farmers and agribusiness people face. We are looking at the whole issue of market access, so you're able to access the markets with ease. We are looking at the whole issue of promotion, youth promotion, and youth involvement. We are looking at their impact even in investing. So when we are looking at the whole issue about partnerships and coming together with some of these key players in the agribusiness industry, investors should be one individuals who should never miss. What do you think about some of these World Aid organizations? Okay, we need to think about them and bring them on board because they look onto empowering women, empowering the youth, giving them a voice. So it becomes so much an easy way for a farmer and an agribusiness individual to even engage in any of the agribusiness work. So when we look about the whole issue of networking, we'll definitely say most of the times we have been ignorant because we are only focusing on the consumer. Okay? And most of the times, probably the consumer will not give you the rightful information and be honest with you. But when you're looking at a manufacturer will always be after profit. Will always be looking, how can I add value? How can I package? How can I brand it? How can I improve this and that? So it really works best for an individual who is in farming and agribusiness in terms of networking with these individuals. When you network with investors, it really helps in terms of your finances, in terms of technology, in terms of getting to new markets, in terms of international standards, in terms of helping you start up, in terms of any changes in certification of these seeds, this produce, and even empowering you to start your own manufacturing entity. It really helps. So most of the times, I know we have always wanted to engage with consumers, network with consumers so that you have the first-hand information and feedback. So when it comes to consumers, we also need to know who is our target audience. We also need to attend some of these events. And I think this is one of the most important things, because when you attend some of these events, agricultural tailored events, this is where you find all these individuals. You find the investors, you find other farmers, you find manufacturers, you find the consumers, you find individuals who do only transit. You will find major key players in the industry in agribusiness. So anytime we have some of these trade fairs and agricultural shows that are happening, we need to continue on and get to them. We are also looking at online platforms, but nowadays the whole issue of digitizing and digital networking, we cannot ignore. And that's why I keep on encouraging you as a farmer, as this agribusiness individual. You need to use your social media handles as an avenue of projecting and showcasing what you're doing. Take us on a journey in your farm. Take us on a journey and tag us in any of our social media handles. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Facebook, if you're on any YouTube, tag us. Let us highlight our successes as farmers. We said we are coming together not just to be here together, but we want to connect, we want to learn and grow, and we want to tell the story of the African farmer. We want to tell the story of our challenges, our successes. We want to voice the concerns. We want to voice what we expect to be done. We want to voice what should be done in the industry. So we need to build a much strong online presence. Now, if you're in any chain, supply chain in agribusiness, if you're farming or in all of them, you need to have a strong online presence for you to connect with the consumer. And you look at some of these big companies, they advertise now and then, and you wonder, they are probably the leading producers of this produce, of this product, but their online presence is so high. So we can start that with our own, because most of the times when you look at the online platforms, one of the hindrance is content. You begin that channel, you begin the YouTube channel, you have your Facebook account, you have your TikTok account, but you realize you have been dormant for a while. So you need to think of how to produce your own content in terms of what you're doing daily. So you just get to the farm, just give us a picture, a video of how your produce is. You do, you're taking on farming, you weeding. Then after the weeding, how is it? That is day 1, day 2, day 3, until that day you have harvested. So you need to build a strong online presence for you to connect with your producers. So you also need to attend these research facilities, get to know the information they have and whatever can help you. And you also need to provide value. That simply means you need to add value to your produce. That is why we are bringing such produce as this fertilizer. It works in handy. It helps you, get good quality of your produce. They are greener. They are better. They have good taste. So it really helps a lot. We also are looking at a place where we can ask consumers, investors, manufacturers to come and visit our farms. It doesn't take much. Tell them, you come take a tour in my farm, come see what I do. That way they will be able to help you get any changes that you need in your farm or anything that you need adjusted in your farm. And there is always the issue of ethics when you are dealing with consumers, because once you have destroyed the reputation of your produce, the reputation of your farm, it simply means getting the trust of consumers it will take a toll on you. It will take a toll on you. So you must maintain the high standards of professionalism. Very important. You must, if it's bananas, let them be of good quality. If you're thinking of fruits, if you're thinking of chicken and all this stuff, have good quality. Maintain the professional standards. Again, customize your approach. When you're thinking about customers just need something catchy. You look at businesses when you're traveling all over big cities, you find banners, you find a lot of online presence. Some of these matatus are branded, some of these produce. It is because you never know who is watching. So have a strong online presence and customize your approach. One gentleman always tells me that you never have a second chance to make the first impression. You will never have a second chance to make the first impression. So the first impression really matters. So when we're looking at the whole lot of agribusiness, we are looking at key players in the agribusiness sector, how you can partner with them, how you can connect with them, how you can grow with them, how you can have financing from them, how you can have knowledge and expertise from them. It is very, very, very important. So we don't look at ourselves as a one-man standalone, but we're looking at ourselves in terms of getting into these online platforms, knowing what other farmers are doing, getting to these online platforms, knowing what some of these organizations are doing, and you realize that almost all organizations, beginning from some of these government institutions, have online presence. You DM them, you ask them any questions. So an online platform will really work a lot in terms of you getting the new markets, you getting the knowledge, you getting the new markets, and getting the funding. It's very important. You get some of these events, you get to these referrals, they will work in handy even for you as a farmer in terms of getting new markets and getting new partners in the business. It is my hope that you have learned a few or three things. And remember, you can get any of these contents and any of these live stream in any of our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can ask any questions and we'll be there to attend to you. As you go on to your weekend, I am wishing you all the best. You have done well, waiting for a new week at the end of the month, and I know you will get that good produce. Never tire, be proud of what you're doing. It always gives fruits. You will always be proud of it at the end of the journey. My name is Dan Gyoshe. I have been your host, and I know that when you join some of these online platforms, you get to learn, you get to connect, and you get to grow. So as you go to the weekend, have a blissful weekend. Let's meet here same time on Monday. See you.